It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome to a brand new video. I just wanted to talk about a topic here. You probably saw the title, so you probably can have an idea what's about to go down here. But basically, somewhere along the line, I kind of woke up. I realized that I wasn't just like sitting around playing DBD really. I was like trapped in a sort of loop or simulation, if you will. Winning, losing, it just started to feel like everything was a blur and everything was exactly the same. But then I started to realize how to escape the Dead by Daylight matrix. Alright, so as you guys know, if you've watched any of the Matrix movies, Neo spends his life thinking that he's in control. But then he realizes that he's just another battery powering this like big system, like all these people inside of tubes and things. And DBD can feel the same exact way. Like Dead by Daylight essentially makes you think that you're in control, but you're really not. You're not in control of your MMR or what you face, what map you get, or anything like that. The only thing you really have any control over is your MMR, win rate, perks, and add-ons. But that also is what keeps us sort of within that cycle, right? It keeps us in that loop over and over and over. And every killer main has been there. You can lose a 50-50. You can mess up in your chase, lose the game. Survivors are bagging you at the gate, and you start to want to crash out. And it happens on Survivor too. You know, you'll have a couple of bad games and you want to run to Reddit or Twitter to complain. But the truth is, the game is not just testing really your skill, right? Because you already know a lot of stuff is pretty random. It's testing your emotional control. So my red pill moment, I guess, if you will, you know, came after one of those matches where everything went horrible, right? So you know what I'm talking about, like full 4-man Swift running meta, breaking the 3-gen, of course, because you know that's your last resort. You getting blinded like crazy, bagged at the gate. You get the GG easy in the end game chat, and of course normally you know you crash out, you queue up again, and then it starts. But one day I had realized that it didn't really matter. I stopped crashing out at one point. Because what ended up happening really is the fact that I chose to sort of plug back into the system every time that I took it personally, right? I got all emotional about it, crashed out, right? In that sense, like, so Neo had to accept that the Matrix wasn't real. I had to accept that the outcome of one match does not define me as a player. So when you escape the matrix of DBD, if you will, you'll start to see the patterns differently. The same way that Neo did in the movie. When he started to see like everything turned green and he started to see the code. The Survivor's movement isn't just randomness, luck, or just like them pressing a bunch of keys down. It's a pattern, it's movement, it's understanding, pathing, and knowing what is the next resource or tile that they want to go to next. And every loss is not really a failure, but it's feedback for yourself, for trying to improve how you learn how to play the game. Because every match isn't necessarily about winning. It's about learning how to not only respond under pressure, but to understand how much better you can play your characters, which overall will make the game a lot more fun. So I stopped measuring the success by just strictly 4Ks, but I started to measure it deeper in the sense of like I'm controlling my my thoughts, right? I'm controlling the crash out. I'm controlling my pathing, and I'm controlling my reads. If I can understand and read opponents better. And that right there is when I really started winning, because now the mindset wasn't built on rage, crashing out, or the game being terrible, but it was built on me mastering my character to the best of my ability. So like when Neo starts to see the code, like I mentioned before, he starts to see the system from the inside out, and from there he was immune to anything that I forgot the guy's name in the movie already. But he was always like Mr. Anderson. It was Agent Smith. But that's what it feels like when you stop letting DBD control your emotions in that way. You start to see things a lot differently. You start to understand the game in a much better way. Because instead of reacting with crashing out and wanting to quit and not play anymore, you start to play the game with some actual intention. You're not fighting the game, you're sort of going with it. You're kind of flowing with it. You're understanding the game a lot better. The moment that I escaped this sort of DBD matrix, losing stopped mattering. Because losing isn't failure, it's data. Right? And I can say this from my own experience, because I was doing this too. I have been writing down a spreadsheet, getting down all my kills, getting down the maps I went to, writing down some notes, and understanding what I could have done better. Because this thing of defeat was just the side effect of attachment to ego, results, and control. But when you let go of that, the fun starts to come back. And I'm really talking about like you're sort of like testing yourself. It's a training arc. Just like anybody who watches anime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when that happens, the kills come naturally, the wins are stacking up, and overall you start to get better. So if you're feeling stuck, right? Like you're feeling like you want to quit, you got to reframe your brain in a way, right? In other words, taking the red pill, stepping outside the cycle, and reconnect to why you play the game in the first place, whether it be the tension, the strategy, you know, the creative ways you can use an ability. Because all killer abilities are really just like tools in your toolbox, really trying to kind of understand that character even better. And everybody's got their reason why they play their characters. Everybody's got like their favorite killer that they absolutely love, and they want to be at least, you know, show that they're a fan of this character by playing them, right? So anyway, you're never going to see the same way again in this sense because of that reason. And just like the final statement that I really want to point out is that it's not necessarily about trying to go on a win streak and win every single game. Like that may not really happen. But once you sit down and you actually start to track how many games you really do win and how many kills you really do get, and how many, you know, bad maps you end up getting and all these kinds of things, it really starts to open up your mind and really see the game for what it is, and really start to see that negativity bias is going to be the number one thing that's going to prevent you from enjoying this game on a much better level. Now, the game's not perfect. As you guys know this full well. I've spoken about how bad this game can be time and time and time again. You guys understand that. And I have plenty of videos talking about it. But I also can recognize that there's something that I can do as a player that can really help me out when trying to get a better understanding on how to play my killer better and overall how to enjoy the game better as a result. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button. And let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. And maybe check out those links in the description, you know. And stay tuned for all my members at the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys being here. And I'll see you in the next one. Well, I wanted to go ahead and take some time out to thank all my members from Patreon with Crow King 101, my YouTube members, Majora Jeff, Endire, Evil Peachy YT, Zero Mocker, Christian, Hexdev, and Crow Vader, and for my Twitch subscribers, Cake is the Road, Danica 2002, Final Girl _ Bunny, Acklefin, Chili Cinderace, Zero Mocker, Ginsburg, Johns 117 _ Lovely Ghost TTV, Jar TTV, Zazaboo, and Crow Vader. Just wanted to thank you guys. And if you also want to have your name read off at the end of every video, make sure you join on one of these platforms to get one of those perks, as well as the other perks you get. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much.